Well, hello. It's New Year's Eve. Happy New Year. I'm going to give you the last five quotes from Pope Francis. In the first one, he actually refers to St. Francis. He says it's fighting poverty, both material and spiritual, building peace and constructing bridges. These, as it were, are the reference points for a journey that I want to invite each of the countries here, or each person that is listening to this, as far as that goes, to take up. But it's a difficult journey. If we do not learn to grow in love for this world of ours, here too, it helps me to think of the name of St. Francis, who teaches us profound respect for the whole of creation and the protection of our environment, which all too often, instead of using for good, we exploit greedily to the detriment of each other. Quote 17. A person once asked me in a provocative manner if I approved of homosexuality. I replied with another question. Tell me, when God looks at a gay person, does he endorse the existence of this person with love or reject and condemn the person? We must always consider the person. Here, we enter into the mystery of the human being. In life, God accompanies persons, and we must accompany them starting from their situation. It's necessary to accompany them with mercy. When that happens, the Holy Spirit inspires the priest to say the right thing. And no condemnation, no hatred, just understanding, appreciation, and treating with respect and dignity. 18 says, this is happening today. If investments in banks fall, it is a tragedy. And people say, what are we going to do? But if people die of hunger, have nothing to eat, or suffer from poor health, that's nothing. This is our crisis today. A church, not only a church, a humanity and a human thought process in many cases that is poor and for the poor. We have to fight this mentality, because the poor will always be here unless we use the World Bank's approach and eliminate poverty, which could happen easily. 19. The Times talk to us so much of poverty in the world. To see so much poverty is a scandal. Poverty in the world is horrible. In a world where there's so much wealth, so many resources to feed everyone, it's unfathomable that there are so many hungry children, that there are so many children without an education, so many poor persons. Poverty today is a cry, and it's a cry we should answer rather than ignoring. If a person is gay and seeks God and has goodwill, who am I to judge him? The Catechism of the Catholic Church explains this, quote number 20, explains this very well. It says they shall not be marginalized because of this orientation, but they must be integrated into society. The problem is not having this orientation. We must be brothers. Pope Francis is different than his predecessors, and that's a good thing that the world has badly been in need of. While not an absolute liberal, Pope Francis does hold many views in opposition to the conservative policies of conservative Republicans and conservative, far-right conservative Christians. Because conservatives are largely prejudiced, anti-poor, anti-women, anti-education, anti-healthcare, anti-peace, anti-gay, anti-immigrant, and against other religious beliefs. Pope Francis does not believe that these things are right. And that's why conservatives don't particularly feel comfortable with him. He doesn't fit the extreme mold the right wing demands. So in other words, it's because he's not cold-hearted, he's not a lunatic. He's the compassionate, inclusive pontiff that a majority of people have been waiting for. And I like Pope Francis. I'm not a church person. I haven't ever been a religious person. I did grow up in a Catholic neighborhood, but I wasn't a Catholic, and I don't really call myself a person who belongs to any particular religious persuasion except for one, and that is universalist, humanist, and a belief that all human beings are worthy of consideration, and all human beings are worthwhile, and all human beings can contribute. And they all have a great potential if we help to nurture that rather than just ignore it. Thank you, my friends. That's the end of Pope Francis's quotes. I'll have some more things to say at a later time. For now, good night and Happy New Year.